Like I just gotta some days are better than others.
Yeah.
But it's more important to just.
All right. You want me to start it?
Whatever.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Ridge Podcast, episode number 3.
Yeah. This is our 3rd episode. I'm Patrick Ridge and
I'm Wickham Silva.
I think what could be different and cool about this podcast is I think we can, we're both sober and, it doesn't matter if you're not, the character, the shit that we go through we don't get to take the edge off. We have to feel things. The reason that we're sober is because we used alcohol and drugs like way too extremely. Because we couldn't deal with our feelings because they happen to be super intense and they're just as intense now when we're sober, but we don't really get to take the edge off or like kind of relax or get mellow. So like, even if, I think that like, even if you're not an alcoholic or if you're not a drug addict, I think you deal with feelings on a daily level. And I think that it's really important to be able to navigate your feelings and sort of like, identify like a character defect when it shows up and like try to understand like why you're feeling something more intensely than you should be. Like, and then if you can identify that, it sort of takes it makes it less painful. And I think that, even Joe Rogan talks about this a lot and that's part of the reason why I love, or actually, you know what? He kind of like minimizes it. I was just listening to the Aerosmith Steven Tyler today.
Yeah, I was watching some of the clips of that.
And he's talking about pain and, how life is a lot of pain. Like, no matter what your circumstances are, it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, white, black. Everyone's pain is circumstantial and it just depends on your perception. What I might think Steven Tyler's problems, I might like wish that I could have those same problems. Right.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that would do anything to be me. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm so fucking lucky. I should be naked doing jumping jacks in the fucking middle of the street right now. But instead, I'm depressed doing step work alone in my house, all fucked up, like on my fucking knees praying for relief. And it's like, why? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just all because of my ego. That's why. And I think this podcast could be cool because we're getting honest and vulnerable. And
I feel like that gives us a good perspective on everything else as well.
Totally.
Not like kind of being sober and kind of being in touch with feelings and like being able to dig deep and find the source of things and why we feel certain ways is a good lens to look at the world with.
And not like using like religion or AA as like, not using any one thing as like the way we get through shit, but like taking from all of them, right? Because like the principles that I live my life by, they're designed for living, and I think they can help anyone, and they've helped me so profoundly, like to value honesty, to value humility, courage, faith, to value service, to help others, and like just to really get out of like all those are the values that I want to live my life by, like genuinely. And I think you do too. And I've seen that just recently. Wickham was talking to me about like some shit he's been going through and his ability to apologize and forgive, and how it's hard. When you don't get the results you want after you apologize to someone and they're like still hating. But like, dude, like that's what we've been talking about. That's what Kanye's talking about. Yeah. And it's principles before personalities, right? Like Kanye may be a fucking crazy batshit weird dude or whatever, bad dude. I don't fucking know, but at least he's talking about principles that we should all live our lives by. Yeah. And you're acting, and I've seen him, I don't know, whatever. He seemed like he was being nice to that paparazzi guy, but and I'm trying to do that too right now, with Seth, and You know, I've had some feelings surrounding, you know, ex-employees who like, you know, didn't do what I thought they should have done, or, you know, big fucking King Pat deserves people to like, you know, it's just like my ego is just, it's crazy. And like, I'm willing to get totally honest and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Here, I think that's the only way it's going to be an exciting, cool podcast.
Yeah. Is complete unfiltered honesty.
Because and it's I got like, nothing to be ashamed of.
It's interesting because like you think that certain human relationships or like problems you have are as simple as forgiveness, right? But then it gets to like shit like I've apologized to someone, and then when they don't take that apology well, I'm resentful at them for not taking the apology well. But that's inherently selfish because I want them to take the apology well so that I could let it go and move on. And it's like it's a lot. It's really like deep emotionally. It's a deep emotional shit.
Yeah, everything is layered and deep, and I wish that it was as simple as like, you know, just apologizing. But yeah, I think that you really, that's why humility is so important, right? Because like, if you really were humble, like for real, then like you would care as much, if not more, about how that person feels.
More than how they're affecting.
More than how you feel.
Yeah, totally.
And that's kind of where we want to be, right? We want to just be serving others and helping others.
But then that you can even take that too far.
Yeah,
and
for
be
sure. Codependent.
Like, codependent and like
trying to change and manipulate people.
Yeah, self-seeking.
Make them feel better.
Yeah.
Self-seeking.
Yeah.
But that's what we're saying not to do.
Well, no. That's like a defect on my step 4, my 4th column, my part is self-seeking. And that's kind of a big one that comes up a lot is if I'm in resentment, usually I'm angry at the person for not giving the validation that I seek from them.
You're angry at them
for not giving the validation that I'm seeking from them. Seeking validation from someone is self-seeking.
Yeah, but you're angry at them because they're not validating you.
Yes.
The way you validate them.
Just not validating me.
Oh, they're not validating you.
Yeah.
They're not saying you're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, even if they did say that, would you believe it?
Nope.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter who tells you. Yeah, because it doesn't matter how much validation you get from anyone, from how much you get it. Like, if you don't believe it yourself, I mean.
Do you have a lighter?
No.
I've told you a lot of positive shit, and it seems like the negative shit affects you much more profoundly. Like, I don't even know do you even know that I've bigged you up a bunch?
No, I do.
You do know
I think I'm really bad at knowing how to respond to that.
That's okay.
Because I do internally take it in. I just don't know how to respond to positive
But
things.
I think that like, I'm just like you in the sense that like, it doesn't last very long. And I think one negative comment could outweigh 10 positive comments.
Yeah.
Right. So if I say like, oh, you fucked up on the shoot last Friday, it kind of like, which you did, it kind of like cancels out like all the positive shit you've done, right? Like in your mind, right? Yeah. But it's not like you still have a good eye, like you still are like a dope dude, which like you literally like you can't, like that's like the one thing that you can't learn, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't.
Well, it's like you know, at like Apple stores and stuff. I was applying for an app for like I wanted to get a job like back a few years ago at like working at Apple store, and I was looking at advice from ex-Apple employees on like how to nail the interview, and they said, and I thought I was in because I knew about computers and like I knew like all the tech shit, and they were like, they don't give a fuck if you know about that. They care about if you're a personable person.
Wow.
And if you're good with people, because you could teach people about computers, but you can't teach them how to be personable.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I could teach anyone how to like edit or like whatever. I almost would rather show someone like how I like it to be done, because fools try to come in like thinking they know some shit and they want to be on Premiere and blah blah blah, and it's like it's almost like harder to like unteach someone. But yeah, you can't show like Ricky, like he's an artist and he understands the subtleties of like effects and color and like textures and like how to make shit look good, you know?
Yeah.